Good morning, friends. It's the last topic on the series Strategical Saturday, and it's the miscellaneous topic on based on exchanges. Okay, so let's go through this game. Here it was my game, and here's a white to play. So I told you that normally exchanges won't contain the topic of pawn break, but here I considered this topic because. Pawn exchange is also important when we need to exchange pawns, right? So here in this position, it's a white to play. You can pause the video and try to find out the best move as white. So here there are a few moves, candidate moves that you can consider. One might be knight d6, one might be simply moving your bishop somewhere. So here, of course, bishop e2 or bishop d3 is of course playable, and at the first point it will be computer's first choice. But when you going into much deeper, here there are some other moves are also possible. For example, here one of the move might be knight f g5. So after knight f g5, h g5 and queen g5. Okay, why this moves? Because we can easily see that in initial position there are lots of weak dark squares around the king, and which pawn is holding black's position? This important g7 pawn, and that's why here I mean I had tried knight f g5 because f7 pawn actually is also weak, and that's why white can even try the move knight f g5. So after f g5, and okay, knight g5 is not working here because of move f6, and if you play queen g5, white has tremendous compensation. Yes, white has tremendous compensation, but my point is, which piece can help you to exploit the dark squares? The knight or bishop? Of course, knight, right? So why we want to give up our knight by playing knight f g5? So it's better to give up your light square bishop and exchange the pawns with your pawns. So just play g5 here, which is of course an improvement over the move knight of g5, and I played this move g5 here in order to exploit the dark squares. So after g5, my opponent is forced to take on c4, otherwise anyhow I'm going to play g8 next move. So okay, bc4 and now g8. Now black has two ways to recapture, because otherwise I'm going to play simple h7. So in game he took g8, but let's first of all check what if rook h6. So rook h6 means we can just play queen to g5, and once if white succeed to play queen into g5, it's simply just finish it off with queen g7. So now black has to play king f8 and then rook g1, and after rook g1, rook h7, and here there are two ways to finish, either with the move h6 or with the move knight to f6. Okay, so here this after this g5 move, black has to play bc4 and g8. Okay, so let me tell you one small story basically, because after say how this move normally white should consider. Okay, so I think everyone has seen the movie Bahubali, right? Because I'm talking about this movie because normally all Indian fans are very. I mean, they don't know about this movie because it was a fantastic movie. Okay, so here, why this G5 move? So normally in that movie as well. There was a war between two kingdom, and the Kalke has basically used the fact that they have more people on a certain side, where Gatappa has made one shield, and what they are used to do, they just bring a big tree and just use the tree to hit it, that shield, to break it down. So why we did that? Because there are more people on that side, so more army on that side. So basically whenever you have more pieces on certain side, what you should do, you should use pawn strong. You should just break the center or break on the particular side where you have the piece more pieces. So here white has more concentrated pieces on king side and black's pieces on queen side, which is very ideal to break with the pawns. And that's why I normally give this example of Bahubali, because which simply relate the same theme. And actually chess is nothing but the war actually. So we should remember this thing. And why g5 is good here, because we want to break this side, and especially we want to exploit this dark square weaknesses. And again, it's worth noting that it's ideal to give the bishop, not the knight, and that's why g5 is a crucial move here. So after bc4 gh6, my opponent took with the gh6 and I played queen f6. And now the rook on h8 is hanging. So after say with the move rook f8, I took on h6, and now the threat is knight f6. Okay, so now my opponent played knight b4, so you just want to play either knight d5 or knight c2, knight d3. Of course, my a1 rook is not at all in a game, and I am not any concerned about that rook as well, because my two central pawns, my queen on h6, my h5 pawn, and my both beautiful knights, and sometimes my rook will also come into the game. So I'm not at all worried about my a1 rook. So after knight b4, I played knight f6 check, king e7, and knight to h7. So of course there is another move which is queen g5, which is also good enough, and possible to win with that move as well. But I choose the move knight h7, and my opponent played knight b6. Of course, knight c2 is very bad, because we can just play king d2 and play queen f6 followed by knight f8, followed by just pushing my h1. Okay, so knight b6, and I played queen f6 check, king e8, and knight into f8. So now again, king f8 is bad, because king f8 means I can just push my h pawn, and I won't worry about knight f d5, because I can still play the move h7, and which simply wins. So here knight d3 and king f1, now knight d5, and now I played queen h8, king is on, knight g6 check, f g6, queen to 8. My opponent played g5 in order to stop h6, because once h6 comes, there is a mate with rook h7. So my opponent played g5, and I simply played rook to g1. Okay, so h6 is also winning, but rook g1, again my idea is same: rook g5 followed by rook g7 mate, and bishop e8 means rook g7, queen b6 means rook g7 check. And after king f8, here rook b7 simply wins in a simple one move, and we just trap the queen and save our energy. But this was my very old game where I used to play some spectacular games. Then I lost one or two games badly in a winning position, and then I simply moved to the simpler moves first choice, which save your energy as well. So I advise you to play the simple move like rook b7. But okay, in game I played the move rook g8 check, and of course I made a precise calculation before this. And after king into g8, queen into e8 check, king g7, knight g5. And then after, okay, so queen f7, queen g6, there are lots of threats, so it's forced to play this move. And after queen g7 check, king h6 and knight e6, followed by queen g7 and queen g5 mate. Okay, so which is just made in few moves. But okay, this is not important. The important point for us is to play g5 and eliminate this g7 pawn specially. So exchanging the pawn, especially this exchanges is really good for us here. So let's move to the next game. Okay, so let's check it here. Here in this game, White's last move was very awkward. He played knight h2, and after h3, f4, it is ideal to open the center when opponents kick in the center. So fe5, and bishop f5. So here, why black may consider some moves like knight into e5, but it is not very clear to me at this point. So let's say bishop f5, a3, and here it's a black to play. You can just pause the video and try to find out the best move here. Okay, so there are a few candidate moves here. For example, knight into e5. Okay, my first move was queen b6 actually, but queen b6 is strongly made by queen b3. I neither can play knight e5 or knight d4. So queen b3 is the strongest way to deal with the queen b6. Another point is my knight on e8 is very bad, and my rook on 8 is also bad, so I can simply consider some moves like simply rook c8. Another move I can consider is simply knight c7 and knight e6. But okay, why I took this game, and what is the concept behind this game? Actually, this is the concept of exchanging your worst piece. Here my worst pieces of course are knight on e8 and rook on 8. So how can I exchange my e8? Okay, so one move might be one way of improving that piece is simply knight c on knight a6. One way to exchange this piece is knight e6 and knight d6 and knight e4. Yeah, I know that e5, that is the pawn on e5, but okay, knight d6, if he takes, then what will happen, we'll check. And after knight d6, if he won't take, then I'm going to play knight e4 and exchanging my worst piece with the d2 knight. And once my opponent take on e4, I can just play bishop into e4. Another point here that black can think is knight into e5. And here again the important thing is king is in center, and there are lots of weak dark squares especially. And to exploit this all dark square, it is necessary to eliminate all these three pieces, especially this bishop. Actually not just pieces, but these two pawns, one bishop and all these pawns. So how we can eliminate this bishop and this both pawns as well? If we are playing knight into e5 here, then pawn into bishop into, and I'm not sure that I mean it's winning. But of course white has tremendous compensation, and I would simply love to play this type of position, but if I have not found the most beautiful move like knight d6. So let's check the move knight d6 now. So after knight d6, my threat is knight e4. I'm just eliminating my worst piece with the strongest piece on d2, which controls the central e4 square. And after bishop e4, it's a really tough time for white, because g2 is also hanging, and white's king will stuck in center. So after knight d6, my threat actually was knight e4. But okay, we have to check the move ed6, because otherwise black is better. So after ed6, so okay, now the game actually goes in some other direction, but actual intention of knight d6 is just to eliminate your bad piece. But in order to do that, you have to make some precise calculation here. So after knight d6, ed6, and now bishop into d4. And now you see what I told you, that king is in center, and we want to eliminate the bishop and two pawns, and black is succeed to do this by eliminating these two pawns and bishop, and that too with the passive knight on e8. If you have played knight into e5, you have some compensation, but you are exchanging your strong developed knight. So normally I would say that any piece has three kind of state. One is attacking, defensive, and passive. So here you are exchanging your attacking knight in case of knight into e5, and you can exchanging your bad passive knight on e8 with move knight d6. So of course I like the move knight d6, and I played that move. And after ed6, bishop into d4. Now there was one chance for knight c4 as well, but of course which is difficult to see. And still after e5, I'm threatening dc4 and queen d6. Still black's position is very strong, but my opponent played bishop d4, knight d4, and now I'm threatening either knight c2 or bishop c2. So especially knight c2 is immediate threat. So after rook c1, now I played queen d6, and the next move is simply queen g3 check. We simply mate. So rook c3 is forced, and now there are two ways to win, either knight c2 or bishop c2. So bishop c2 is the simpler one. So bishop c2, now he has to move his queen somewhere, and that too to control the e2, because otherwise queen e5 check, bishop e2, queen e2 is mate. So he has to move his to queen to g2, and after queen e5 check, bishop e2, and there are two ways to finish, either h5. simply deflecting the queen, or maybe the rook f4, and both moves are winning. So this was the part exchanging or neutralizing opponent's strong piece with the your worst piece, like e8 knight. And in the previous example, we have seen the exchanging the pawns, especially when you have the development advantage, exchange the pawns, and especially those pawns which are where you have the piece majority. Okay, so hope you have enjoyed this fifth part as well, and this finishes off our strategical Saturday topic, where we have seen all five topics based on exchanges. Hope you have enjoyed all this series. Thank you, friends. Thank you very much.